Darlings, today I have some fall-themed, Halloween-themed books. First book is The Night Wild by Zoe Tilly Poster. This book is all in black and white. It looks very ghostly and ethereal, as you can see. It's about the adventures of a dog at night with his friends. At dusk, dog spies moon-bright eyes outside. Here he is running. You can see the autumnal leaves. He's in the water. All those ghostly images. Yes, so that's book one. What's a Ghost Going to Do? Classic, written in 1966. Pictures are by Seymour Fleischman. It was written by Jane Thayer, and that's just the pen name for Catherine Woolley. This is part of the Gus line. Cute little illustrations. This particular Gus book follows Gus living in his old house. And unfortunately, the Scots, the people who have lived in the home, they're getting ready to move out. And they are prepared to sell the old house to the government. And the government is going to tear it down and make it into a park so he doesn't have to lose his home. He whispers in Mr. Scott's ear, trying to tell Mr. Scott, oh, don't sell the house, but it's to no avail. It doesn't work. The Scots move out. Gus continues to panic. He gets the idea to go down the road to his friend, Captain Obadiah Payne, another ghost. Obadiah is a very old ghost, though, and soon becomes overwhelmed with the noise and the banging and the clanging that Gus makes. So Captain Obadiah Payne kicks Gus out, says, Gus, you can't live here. Gus then goes to live with his little mouse friend. But Gus can't fit his pots and pans in the mouse's home in the tree, so they rust outside over the night rain. Mouse, too, kicks out Gus. Gus decides to put an ad in the paper. Ghost named Gus, experienced, friendly, needs a good home. And he waits and waits for a reply, checking the mailbox to see if anyone needs a ghost. Finally, the man from the government, Mr. McGovern, comes and checks out the house. Gus decides to try to whisper little ghostly sayings in Mr. McGovern's ear to try to convince him not to sell the house. And it actually works. Mr. McGovern decides to not sell the home, but to turn it into a museum. And here's what the home looks like after it's been repainted. They put old furnishings in it, lots of grandfather clocks, spinning wheels, trundle beds, brass candlesticks, all of the things that Gus just naturally has an affinity towards. And Mr. McGovern, he says that he's so thankful that he had the idea himself to keep the house as a museum and not to tear it down. But Gus is happy. They have a party, and all is well that ends well. Here's Gus having a great time, whooping it up, banging and clanging, and Mr. McGovern thrilled that the house is saved. Yeah, perfect story to read this October, if ghosts don't frighten you. Third book I have is another classic, Hocus and Pocus at the Circus by Fran Menushkin, and pictures by Jeffrey Hayes. This book is about two sisters, Hocus and Pocus. And Hocus, the big sister, wants to teach Pocus how to be mean. So they go to the circus where Hocus is going to try to teach Pocus to be mean and nasty. Here is Hocus and Pocus. Pocus was never very mean, and she's having a difficult time learning how to be nasty. They go to the circus. And Hocus says, oh, why don't you give this candy to the lion tamer? But Pocus decides to eat it herself instead. And she turns into a pig. Hocus wanted to turn the lion tamer into a pig. So now Pocus, the pig, is kind of playing around with the lion, just having a jolly old time. Hocus has another plan. She says to wave your cape at the clowns. But Pocus, instead of causing mischief, as Hocus wants, she then turns the clown's balls into puppies, which everyone loves puppies. The children are happy to see the puppies. Hocus has another plan further into the story, and she says, Pocus, say people corn, popple corn. Say people corn, popple corn. And she says it. And instead of turning all of the humans into popcorn, she makes popcorn for all of the humans, and the children just love the popcorn. So she fails at being mean and nasty again, and Hocus is getting frustrated. Here they are eating the popcorn. And then Hocus has one last mean, nasty plan where she tells Pocus to follow her instructions. So the baby trapeze artist drops to the ground. Horribly mean and nasty. Pocus won't do it because she's actually sweet. Give this ice cream to baby Bamboozle, said Hocus. When she eats it, she will miss her trapeze and fall to the ground. That's too mean, cried Pocus. I will not do it. Pocus flew away with the ice cream. And she stuffs it in her sister's face. Hocus then lands in the cannon, and the cannon shoots her out. And then Pocus has one more trick. She turns all the lights in the circus to these cute, adorable jack-o'-lanterns. So now everyone has popcorn, puppies, and cute jack-o'-lanterns. But Hocus is outside, wiping the soot off of her face because her sister has shot her out of the cannon. Anyway, Pocus still feels bad about her sister, so she decides to give her sister a giant ice cream cone. And she just asks her sister if her sister can teach her to fly upside down on a broom instead of trying to teach her how to be mean and nasty. They decide that's a good compromise, and off they go into the night with the giant ice cream cone. Next book is Owl at Home by Arnold Lobel, yet another classic. I'm only going to go over one brief story in this book. There are multiple in this book. Strange Bumps. It's very autumnal, great for October. Here's Owl, frightened in bed because he sees two lumps at the end of the bed. He wonders, what are they? Here's him wondering. What if those two strange bumps grow bigger and bigger while I am asleep? That would not be pleasant. So Owl is just freaking out in bed, wondering about those two lumps. Sheer terror in his face. Fantastic illustrations. He says, I will never sleep tonight. So he gets out of bed in a panic, worried that the bumps will get him at the end of the bed. Where are you? What are you? He cried. He falls out of bed. Then he just goes to his chair, sits up wondering about the bumps, resigned to the fact that he won't be sleeping in his bed. Yep, great book as a whole to read in October. For yourself or the children in your life, of course. Next book, Happy Halloween by the Berenstain Bears, not Berenstein. If you're about my age, you might remember growing up with these books and calling them the Berenstain Bears. Apparently, there's a whole theory, butterfly effect, that they were used to be called the Berenstain Bears, but then the time-space continuum kind of split. And some people are now in the Berenstain world, and some people are left back in the Berenstein world. Little October mystery for you. This is by Stan and Jan Berenstain, not Steen. First story in this book, it's a tri-part book, is about brother and sister going trick-or-treating. They have their costumes. They're getting ready to go. They have their plans to go with their friends, and Papa's making a frightened jack-o'-lantern. There it is. So they're getting spooked before they leave for trick-or-treat. They have their map of where they'll go. They decide they will not go to Ms. McGriz's house because she's a witch and she's frightening, and they won't go there. Off they go. Along the way, they encounter Too Tall and his gang. And Too Tall encourages them to go to Miss McGriz's house. Here they are, terrified. They're at the witch's house. She says, "Come in, I'm ready for you." Oh, and look, she has candy apples for them. She's super nice after all. She's not a mean old witch. She is old, but she's not mean. Kids had nothing to worry about. They had the wrong impression about someone just based off of their appearance. Good life lesson. So the kids go back with their candy apples, and their mom and dad explain, yeah, see, she's a nice lady. You don't need to judge someone based off of their appearance. Yep, that's the best Halloween story in this book. Last book I have, another classic, Spooky Tricks by Rose Weiler and Gerald Ames. Pictures by Talivadis Stubis. This was written in 1968. Spooky Tricks. Are you frightened? Ah, he's got a chain coming out of his mouth. Contents: How to Be a Spook, Willie the Ghost, Haunted House. How to be a spook. The night is dark and shadows creep around. Voices whisper in the gloom. Listen and shiver. This is a night of ghosts and spooks and scary magic. Who will do the magic? You will. You will do spooky tricks and scare everyone, even yourself. Are you ready? Here's an optical illusion to make it seem as if your hand is full of holes. Fun trick for a child to learn. Or yourself if you want to entertain someone at a dinner party. Your extra finger, another optical illusion. You put your fingers in front of your face like so, and you stare long enough and they look like they're connected. So this book is filled with little magic tricks like that. Pincushion thumb. Rising ring. Directions on how to do another magic trick with a ring rising up a candlestick. Cool. Anyway, I thank you for joining me today. Hopefully you can find some of these books at thrift books or garage sale or maybe your attic, library perhaps. They're awesome books, and I highly recommend trying to get your hands on them for yourself or the children in your life. Have a great day. Thanks for being here. Bye.